Terrance Osborne here with your New Orleans coloring sheets. As promised, I said I'd put out a video that showed how to color, what colors to use, and things like that. So put some tea on, grab your colors. This time is for you. There are no rules to follow. Color what feels right. Let's do it. The colors that we want to mostly use are red, blue, and yellow. Those are the primary colors. The secondary colors are a mixture of any of the primary colors. So the mixture of yellow and red is orange. The mixture of blue and red is purple. The mixture of blue and yellow is green. Any color that you choose on the color wheel, you want to go with the color next to it to make contrast or to make it change from darker to lighter value. The two color pencils that I work with, one is Prismacolor and also Museum Aquarelle. I also go with Copic markers. You can't go wrong with these guys. They have a tip on it that's a chisel tip, and also they have a brush tip. These are perfect. All right, let's color. So, like I said, for the primary colors, I'm going to start off with this blue. Right next to that blue is a green. Right next to that green is a yellow. I'm thinking that's what I want to repeat here. So I'm going to go back to blue again, green, and then yellow. So you see the pattern. Now I'm just going to throw a bright color right here just to make it interesting. I noticed I picked a color that was not in either of the three colors that I picked earlier. That's kind of what you want to do. The purpose is to make everything a surprise. If you're unpredictable with your color, then it's entertaining. So when you apply color, you want it to be unpredictable. It's kind of like, you know, when you're watching a movie and something unpredictable happens, it's entertaining. That's what you want for your color. You want to put colors that you wouldn't normally put there. It's almost like you have to play a game with yourself and think about what color would not go there. What color would you not feel comfortable with being there, and put that one. So remember, you don't have to color in the line. You can go outside the line. This is just about you relaxing and doing whatever you want. So what you want to do is make the eye follow a certain area. So with this, I'm going to make this a warm area. With cool colors, the eye tends to shy away. With warm colors, it grabs your attention. So I'm going to make this entire area right here nice and warm. So if you'll notice too, I'm doing this sequence of colors. It's going from red to orange to yellow, and I'm kind of going back to a warmer orange. Here's a heavier orange. Back to red again. Now, like I said earlier, you don't want to be predictable, so I'm throwing green in here just because. The little surprises help to keep you entertained. The wonderful thing about the markers is that they color in huge amounts of space with little effort. I'm using a cooler color because the crawfish is mostly warm. So it's all about contrast. So it takes a certain amount of courage too to leave the edges of your piece kind of rough. And that's what I'm doing. As I approach the outside, going to show you right here. This is what you want to do when you get to the edge. Just kind of leave it rough. It's just one technique. It's not that you have to do this, but I like doing it. It just adds a little texture and makes it interesting. So then, you take another color, like a lighter color. In this case, I'm going to choose yellow. And color in so it picks up all the little areas that you left out. Makes it a little more entertaining. So most of the crawfish is going to be red and orange and yellow, nice warm colors. And that's what we want. But remember, you want to do a surprise. You throw colors in there that don't necessarily belong. You'll notice too that mostly I'll color on the perimeter of it, just to leave the middle nice and open if I want to choose another color. In this case, it's going to be yellow. So the outer part is a little more orange. The inner part, a little more yellow. By doing it this way, it makes it a nice warm spot that keeps the eye entertained. So here I'm mostly using the colors that are in the warm family. The reds, the oranges, yellows, even purple. So throwing this pink in there was a surprise to me, but that's what you want to do. You want to surprise yourself. Like, I would never think to put pink on a crawfish, but it works. So I'm just filling in the background here and adding a little bit of shadow underneath the crawfish. The markers are good for filling things in like that. So I'm going to throw in another color with the marker. Choose purple to really bring out that shadow. All of the areas that you work should have some type of light area and darker area. What I mean is, notice I'm doing this gradual kind of thing where the color is heavier here and then it lightens up as it goes over. And I'm using markers and color pencils. You don't just have to stick to color pencils or markers only. Makes it more interesting anyway. What gives this leaf a good contrast is if you put a color that is completely different. If you look at where red lines up on the color wheel, you'll notice that it's opposite of yellow and blue. And we mostly have yellows and blues in here. Green is a combination of yellow and blue. So I chose red because it gives it a little surprise. And that's what you want. So with this part, I could keep the purple and add another color if I don't feel it all the way in. You notice I'm leaving a little highlight right here. I can come back later and add a little surprise of color in there. And I don't know what I'm going to add there yet. That's part of it. You just go, and then when you come back to it, whatever color feels comfortable is what you want to drop in there. choosing green right here because it's a good contrasting or opposite color. So if you notice, I left this highlight right here. I did that so that I can come back later and add yellow. So it has to be a lighter color. You don't want to leave stuff white. When you add a color, a lighter color, it makes it richer. White isn't as entertaining. I'm adding a little red to here because this part is in shadow. It gives that overlap feel. So this shadow is green. You know, remember this shadow is purple. And there are no rules here, so you can do whatever you want. So I think I want these legs to be mostly warm. So I'm going to start off with a darker, warm color like red. And then add in another warm color, just a lighter one. Same thing here. Notice I'm always going on the perimeter, on the outside of it, leaving the inside part of it a little lighter. That helps to give the whole thing contour. So you'll notice that this leg looks round. It's because there's a highlight on the top of it. And here is the surprise color. This piece is coming out nice and colorful. I want to ground it in warm colors a little more. So I'm going to color this area a little warmer and add some solid colors. The idea is that you want to balance all the colors. Since I went crazy with the colors on the left side here, I'm going to simplify things with the colors on this side. Notice I'm leaving the middle a little lighter. That's to give the appearance that it's rounded and there's a highlight right here. Same thing for the other side. So I think I'm going to leave this area to add a surprise color. The tail is fun. I have the opportunity to make it warm and make a gradual change. So if you notice, I'm going from dark to light over here. Always thinking about the potential of what color's coming next. I'm mostly finished with the crawfish. Now I'm just adding the background colors. So the idea is that you have warm colors in the front. Whatever you want to pay attention to mostly is warm. Whatever you want to fall into the background is usually cool. So in this case, the crawfish is the most important thing. So I'm going to choose this nice aqua bluish green color. Gives it a good contrast. You notice I'm using the markers too, so the markers cover a large space a lot easier. And look at how rough I'm doing it. It doesn't have to be all perfect and clean. You can do what you want. If you'll notice too, there's this warm spot right here. I'm adding yellow to it. The yellow warms it up, and then I can play with the edges. I'm not going to make the entire thing warm because the crawfish is already warm. I want to have a nice contrast, so I'm just adding a little surprise color in there. So here's my final shadow color, right up against the crawfish. I want to make him seem like he's laying on the surface. If you notice too, I'm only putting the shadow color on the bottom part of the crawfish, because if light is coming from the top, then shadow is going to be on the bottom. That's just a rule. You can always break the rule. Now that we're all done, remember this is an 11 by 17 standard size sheet of artwork. So you can grab a frame, pop it in there, hang it on your wall, and have fun. All right. So remember, this time is for you. Enjoy yourself, and I'll see you on the next one.